there's been some chippiness, obviously, in the last 2-3 practices. You anticipate that as a football coach, in the fact that when you compete against your teammate every day, there's some chippiness. It's kind of good, but you never want it to bubble over. And today there was a little bit chippiness again. And I kind of told the guys, we got to stay away from the emotional part of it. That gets you in trouble. And they understand, but it happens. It just happens in football. You get tired of competing against each other. Now all of a sudden, with, I don't know, probably the 14 practices left, they understand they've got to whittle it down to who are the 50 players that are actually going to participate a lot to help us win games. And so I think players are counting the numbers, how many reps they have, where they're at. When it comes to how many reps the coaches are allowing me to have, that's just part of it. You know it. But I like the way that they're continuing to play and to compete. And that's what an environment like this brings. It brings a lot of anxiety every day you walk in this building because of the competition, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's in the meeting room, whether it's on the field. And it's taken a while to create that, but there's also another side of it where if guys can't handle that, it becomes detrimental to them, right? So that's kind of where we're at. I like our energy, I really do. And I think this is a focused team. I really believe that. But we got a long way to go before we play a game, and there's still a lot of work to do. Yes, sir.
Chris Carmen, son of a source. Herm, we know, of course, about Jermaine's injury. How would you say that you are overall as a team from a health standpoint?
We're pretty good. We got some nicks and bruises, and we kept some guys out today. But if we had to play, those guys that basically were out to play. So I'm just trying to protect them a little bit. Like I said, we had pads on for about, out of 6 practices, 5 of them we had pads, and now we've been back in pads again today. We got pads again tomorrow. So there comes a point to where there's diminishing returns because you don't want to beat them up, right? And so now I look at our team and go, okay, now it's about safety, and it's about getting guys in football shape and getting them ready to play. That's kind of where we're at right now. And I think most college teams are like that. Pro teams do the same thing. There comes a point to where you kind of figure it out, go, okay, we've had enough of this. Now we got to get to this phase.
So no guys that you're worried about not being able to play for the first game?
I really don't see anybody but Lole at this point, unless, should knock on this, unless something happens, and hopefully nothing happens to any of our guys.
Doug Haller, The Athletic. Herm, you talked the first day or the second day after practice about the importance of Jaden putting in the right place, the ball in the right place for the young receivers. Just how has he done in that regard the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, a great question. I think, and I've spoken to Jaden every day, that the last 5 practices, you can really see all of a sudden it's like, okay, he's doing a good job. And he's sneaky. He's sneaky when you rush him. He has ways that's just like all of a sudden I turn around and he's running somewhere and I go, wait, how did he do that, right? And see, sneaky. But his ball placement has been better. I think the receivers are becoming more comfortable with him. The offense is becoming a little bit more comfortable as well. We didn't think 4 games, then spring ball, so now it's kind of evolving. We're trying to figure out what those players are going to be. Zach is trying to figure out the different units, the different personnel groupings when we play offense. But I like what we see, and Jaden's done a good job. And then, I had to ask him about that fancy car he got, so he's going to give me a ride. And I was like, what is that? It looked like a spaceship. I mean, my daughters knew before I did. He always texts my daughters. And the first thing they said, can you take us to school? And I said, he can't take you to school. He has to go to practice. So It's amazing. This thing, this name and image and likeness is amazing. I watch it every day, and it's just whoo-wee. It's interesting.
Hi, Herm Edwards, Devil's Digest. With the absence of Lole, and I know that Omar wasn't practicing today, but Shannon Foreman, the other guys on the defensive line, how do you see them stepping up so far?
Yeah, Shannon is a guy that he's kind of like that. What is it? Is it the crescent wrench that you have in your toolbox? You can just fit it to anything. He's kind of that guy since he's been here. He's played inside. Well, you guys forget about this. The first game we had as a defense, he intercepted the ball, dropping in coverage, right? So I look at him all the time and I just laugh. I just say, man, you're the crescent wrench, man. We're gonna move you over here. And he's good. He's a good kid, and he's played a lot of football here, and he's got some leadership qualities. Those guys really respect him, and so we're gonna find the best guys up there, and there's a group of them that we can rotate guys in, which is good.
Hi, Coach. Sammy Miller here with Cronkite Sports. We all know how Chase Lucas, he's amazing football player on the field, but what does he mean to the team with his leadership skills and his experience as well?
You mentioned it, experience, the wise veteran all of a sudden, who's been through a lot here, has seen a lot, has been in a lot of football games, right? And so he kind of brings that when he sees things in practice, he can speak up, he has a voice. He can rally the guys in the fact that they respect him. And I think when you played the number of games that Chase has played in his career, I want to say he's probably played more games, and Mark would know this. I'm probably going to say something I'm getting in trouble for it. Some fans are going to say, no, he didn't. And that's fine. He's close. But he's probably played more games than anybody on the team. More snaps. I should say more snaps than anybody on the team that's been here, because he's been here that long, right? So that gives you credibility. That gives you credibility. And players know, when he speaks, you better listen to this guy. He's played a lot of Pac-12 games. And so that it's good to see his maturity. As you guys know, I got a great relationship with that guy. It's just one of those deals, that we talk all the time, and I kind of tell him, here's the temperature. I need you to do this today to help me out with this, and he finds a way to just pass the message along. So it's good.
Coach Zach Keenan, Devil's Digest. I enjoyed the time off this weekend, thank you. But how'd the weekend go?
It went well. We were anticipating trying to go in the stadium, but that didn't work out because due to the rain. So we went inside. Very fast practice. We've got some speed on this team. A lot of speed, and it was fun to watch them, right? But the thing about it, and I said this before to you folks, it's about adaptability. How do you adapt? And this team can do that. And we've talked a little bit about adaptability and being a football player and really having the ability, when you think about being a football player, is anticipation, right? And I equate it to this. That doesn't mean you guess. Anticipation doesn't mean guessing. It means processing in your brain on offense or defense what's about to happen before it happens. And when it happens, you're already ahead of it. And I know the guys that play checkers are going to be mad at me. It's playing chess, not checkers. Right? And I think the teams that get that understand that, they're ahead of it. You got to be ahead of what is about to occur before the ball snaps. Because on offense, you're reading coverage, you're reading the front. That changes, all of a sudden it could be a check. You got to change. On defense, they come out with a certain formation. They shift, they motion. You got to already anticipate, if they do this, this is what's going to happen. Do we check the coverage? Do I have to play a little bit different? You got to know that before snap. So that's the anticipation, not guessing. guessing is, okay, they snapped the ball, I guess they're going to do this now. It's too late. So it's about playing chess, not checkers.
Lena?
Hey, Coach. Lena Washington, 12 Sports. You've mentioned adaptability, and we know that the guys that have stepped in as interim assistants have been in this room, but how would you say that your guys are adapting to just those guys taking control? We've seen some tweets from some of your players saying they want their old coaches back. From your perspective, how are they kind of adjusting and adapting to some of the new faces who are the voices for their positions?
Well, I think the thing that we've always said is that when you walk in this building, you have the ability to gain some knowledge once you leave. Now, whether you accept it or not, that belongs to your outlook on it. And I think all these players understand that when change takes place, there's going to be a coach, and you got to adapt to that. And obviously, our players have done that. And I think that the guys that have stepped in have done a really nice job with our guys. I don't sense anything but that. They're knowledgeable coaches with a lot of experience. 2 or 3 of them got a lot of experience, actually. Coaching and all that stuff. And one of them has at the highest level you can coach at. I mean, the man that coached for me was my defensive coordinator. I mean, he's a good football coach. I know that. So, period. They're in the story. There's not a debate about that. So I just think that players realize that this building is about knowledge, and there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of information you can receive when you walk in this building.
And then just a quick follow-up. Can you just talk a little bit more about Bobby Wade and how he's kind of taken this role? You mentioned that he has interviewed for this position before. What have you seen out of him just in the last week of really taking control of the wide receivers?
Well, he has a professionalism about himself because he's been in that league. He understands how to deal with players. I think that's that's what coaching's really about. It's about making headway with players. And I think the big thing as a coach, you got to figure out how they learn, because they all learn different, and how you approach them to accept this is what we're doing. You can't approach them all the same. I mean, I got to deal with all these guys, and I pick my spots, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's on the field, whether it's in stretching. I got a list of players every day that I write down that I'm gonna go see these guys today. Somewhere in practice, I'm gonna go see them. And sometimes it's just talk about their life. Sometimes not even got to do with football. These young people have a lot of things on their plate, believe it or not. They don't all come in here happy and just like, hey, there's a lot of things, the family things and things that they bring into this building every day. And if you don't really come to them and talk to them about those things, and it could be a 5-minute conversation, it could be a 3-minute conversation, but they know I know, and I'm concerned, and I'm here to help them. So, that's my job as a coach, and that's what I've got to do when practice starts, or in the weight room, or in the meal room. Most of the time I'm talking to players, it ain't a lot to do with football. They're not. You see me talking to players, I always talking about, no, it could be something else. And 90% of the time it is something else, just to make sure they're good. And so, that's your job as the head coach. It's making sure that they're okay.